So if we were in the city of Holdfast Bay, you might actually know me as Shani Banani, which is somewhat ironic considering we're in Coffs Harbour. So I like to dress up as a banana to encourage our community to put their food scraps in the green bin. So that's a little bit about me. There are no photos of me as a banana in this presentation. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how we replaced barrier bags for fruit and veg purchases with compostable versions, which allowed our community to put compatible compostable bags in their kitchen organic baskets for food scrap disposal into their organic bin. So the city of Holdfast Bay, it's kind of not really like the Bondi of Adelaide. It's a very small coastal council, not small enough to be amalgamated. It's a fantastic council. It's a medium to high social economic demographic, and it is described as Adelaide's premier seaside destination. So if you've been to Adelaide, you've probably been to Glenelg. We have about 37,000 residents and 18,000 households. In South Australia, for those that don't know, we have an EPA legislation that states we have to collect our garbage bin weekly. We want to give that a nudge. So our garbage bin is collected every week, 140 litres, and we have a 240 litre recycling and organics bin which is collected fortnightly. So why did we decide to get involved? So in late 2013, all of our households received the kitchen organic basket to dispose of their food scraps in the organics bin. So the first 2 years they received council issued bags delivered to their door, green versions, these ones, and consequently we had a really sharp increase in our landfill diversion rate from 47% to about 55 to 56%. Since then it's really plateaued, so we wanted to find another way that we could have the collection model in place for our community to come and grab those bags for free. They can come to our council offices, but that's not convenient for everyone. So we got a grant of about $150,000 from the state government to run an original 6-month pilot, which was extended to 12 months at 2 local supermarkets. So this provided an additional collection point of compostable bags at no council, and the considerable environmental and economic benefits obviously reduced cost in landfill fees if we're getting more food out of the garbage stream, reducing the amount of plastic used, and just a reduced cost. We're not providing the compostable bag, so it's a win-win. So who did we team up with? We teamed up with Foodland. So it's a bit of a kombucha joke there. I hope someone gets it. So Foodland is a South Australian IGA. The IGA brand actually sits under Foodland in South Australia, and it's a really upmarket experience. They really pride themselves on being South Australian. Their slogan is the mighty South Aussies, and they're sort of the polar opposite to an Audi. So you go into some stores and there's someone playing piano music, they've got dim lighting, so it's a real sort of experience to shop at Foodland. And so we really wanted to team up with Foodland because they've really got that state pride, and we wanted to tap into that state pride within our residents about putting your food scraps in the green bin, supporting our composting sector, and then putting that compost back into our very dry South Australian soils. So the 2 Foodlands we teamed up with was Brighton Foodland, which is on our main road, Brighton Road, and Glenelg South, Romeo's further along when we got a bit more money. So Glenelg South was a really important one to include, the Romeo's, because it's quite a local supermarket. It's off the main drag. So we were able to get some really fantastic audit and in-store survey results there. And as you can see, it provides a really good coverage of our very small LGA. So the methodology was that we had 8 components. So we did 3 curbside bin audits of 50 organic and 50 garbage bins. Pre-trial one around April, May, and one later November last year. We did 3 in-store surveys where each survey we aimed to collect data from about 120 consumers across 3 times across the week to capture the different types of shoppers, and believe me, they differ. We had a project review in late June of last year and a meeting. I'm sure you can all see the typo there. It's the Minister for the Environment and Sustainability, not supermarkets. Late last year, that went really well. I called him by the right name as well. So promotion. So they're the bags there. So they're made out of cornstarch. Working with Foodland was a bit tricky in some ways, that the branding had to be very subtle and fit in with the Foodland brand. So very subtle sign underneath saying these bags are compostable, but on the bags themselves there's a lot of graphics around, I'm compostable, use me in your kitchen caddy, put your food scraps in me and put me in the green bin. So we tried to promote the pilot as widely and diversely as our budget allows. So all City of Holdfast Bay households received the flyer on the left within the first few weeks of the pilot. We used Facebook adverts posted with overwhelming positive feedback, which we'll talk about later. We used pull-up banners in store, those tiny signs of the dispenser, and a really horrible picture of me in the local newspaper talking about our pilot. So sort of the stars aligned for this project in that the Eastern States bag ban came in at the same time, which we've had for 10 years, but well done. So this actually meant we got a lot of national media attention, which we wouldn't get. So we had our local ABC radio interviews, which led to a national story on the ABC website, and gone too far. I'll have one. I've lost it. And also, believe it or not, it was mentioned on the National Kennedy and Malloy radio show, which I only knew about because a seafood processing plant in Perth rang me and said, where are you getting these bags from? And how did you hear about me? Because Mick Malloy told me. I was like, okay. So there you go, we were really lucky. We also teamed up, most of you wouldn't know who this person is. His name is South Ozzy with Cozzy. He's a local identity in South Australia. He's a big believer in South Australian tourism, so he really fitted in with what we wanted to do. He was on The Biggest Loser, I think, in the first year, and he's on radio, so I'm hoping this is going to work. So we did a 1-minute Facebook video with him, which was viewed over 50,000 times on his Facebook page and on our Facebook page.
G'day, it's Ozzy here to Market Fresh Brighton and Glenelg South Romeo's Foodland. I need to say a massive round of applause. Folks, these two stores have done something incredible. When you go and buy fruit and veg nowadays, they've got these plastic bags. You might look at it and think, well, that's just a normal, everyday plastic bag. You'd be wrong, my friend. These are 100% compostable. In fact, these bags are made out of like cornstarch. In 100 days, they break down. So these bags can go in your green bin, which gets composted and turned into more South Australian soil. It's a really, really cool initiative, so well done. So if you're not recycling, you should be. You got one of these a few years ago in your households. If you need a new little basket like this, and some replacement bags, just go to the Brighton City Centre or any of the libraries and they'll sort you out. Recycle, folks, is a hugely important thing. So get on board.
Yeah, that's because his brand is cheese, so there you go. So that's the media attention I was talking about. And so did the project work? Did it ever? Look at those results. So we had 117% increase in food found in organics bins in close proximity to both stores with May of 2018, and a 300% increase of food found in organic bins in close proximity, with the food efficiency rate going from a very depressing 9% up to 37%. So the really interesting thing though that we found with those audits is a lot of the change actually came from people putting all of our council-issued bags into the organics bin. So it was a lot of people having more awareness about the system, oh, that's right, that basket, and starting to use their bags again. But a lot of change there with the Foodland bags as well. So I like to take pictures of bins when I travel, and I like to use this hashtag bin porn, and it doesn't really take off, but I think this is absolute hashtag bin porn. So this is all the compostable bags we found in those 50 organic bins near the Brighton supermarkets. You see the green council issued ones at the back and the Foodland clear ones at the front. And again, we saw a reduction in the amount of food in our residual bins, so going from a very depressing 2 kilograms per household per week down to 1 kilogram per household per week in November. So the in-store survey results, everyone loved the program. Again, stars aligning with the war on waste, the bag ban, just people being more aware in this space. So there was really well awareness of the trial in the City of Holdfast Bay. So 2 out of every 3 people surveyed knew about the trial. 1 out of every 3 non-Holdfast Bay residents knew about the trial. So interestingly enough, 3/4 of people at Glenelg South Foodland, they said they used their kitchen organics basket to dispose of food at home. Suspect they're lying, but thank you. But it's down to half at Brighton, which is probably more true to what we see. And we asked people if they would be willing to pay an extra amount for these compostable bags. So we said maybe around 5 cents. So at Glenelg South, it was closer to 3 out of every 4 people saying they'd be happy to pay 5 cents. But at Brighton, it was close to half people willing to pay it. And everyone wanted to see the bag stay in store, except one lady who wasn't a Holdfast Bay resident, so let's not worry about her. And her reasoning was that she thought the bags smell, so I'm happy for you to come up and give them a smell. They don't smell. Just the general comments we got were absolutely fantastic. So people, I mentioned Audi earlier, and I had a few people say to me, I actually used to shop at Audi, but now I do my fruit and veg shopping at Foodland because I want to access these compostable bags. A lot of people said they saw these 2 Foodlands as a lead in sustainability now. A few people went to the other Foodlands in our LGA and asked why they weren't on board. A lot of people like the feel of them. They do feel quite nice for a bag. They've got like a velvety feel. It's the best bag in 40 years apparently. And yeah, a lot of people saw the link between why did you ban those other bags when you're not banning barrier bags. And the overwhelming positive community feedback also continued onto social media. So I'm a massive believer in Facebook boosts. They're so cheap. They allow you to interact with the community and get fantastic analytical data. So normally when I do a waste post, I get about 10 likes, one of them being me, one of them being my mum. But these ones, look, we're getting like almost 1,000 people commenting, liking, tagging Woolworths and Coles in, setting the standard. It's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, our community loved it and they want to see it stay in store. And the good news for them is it is going to stay in store at those 2 Foodlands, and it looks like 120 Foodlands across South Australia will make the switch to compostable bags, and they will be paying for it for themselves. So the one big barrier, as I'm sure you all know, unfortunately, compostable bags are about 2 to 3 times more expensive than plastic, but Foodland can see this as a point of difference. They've heard the feedback from their customers, and we've sort of cornered them. They have to do it now. So we had a fantastic meeting with the Minister for the Environment and Sustainability late last year, and there's actually a question in the single-use discussion paper which relates to compostable barrier bags and cashier bags. I'll just move my notes along. The ACT actually got in contact with us because they want to see a link between compostable packaging and food waste diversion, so we gave them our results, the same with the Australian Packaging Convent. And 5 stores, including a nursery and a seafood processing plant, have been in touch. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Friday night, I'm shortlisted for an SALJ Excellence Award. If this project doesn't win, you'll probably hear me from Adelaide. But I think we're a good shot. So talking about that discussion paper, question 4, should all checkout bags and produce bags be made from compostable material? Obviously, yes. So I really want to thank the Holdfast Bay community, there's one resident here, for getting on board. The 2 Foodlands obviously would have no project without them. Green Industries for the Money, Raw Tech, and Mike Haywood and Coffs City Harbour Council for inviting me up here. Thank you very much.